Hi everyone, in the previous video we added new columns using the if-else statements which involved creating pass-fail flag and a flag for HML classification on mathematics marks for 15 students only. Let's run this code again and see in those columns in the dummy data frame that we created that how can we count the number of people who passed and the number of students who failed, versus also we can count the number of students who had high marks versus the number of students who had medium marks and the ones who had low marks. And we'll be discussing which command do we need to use in R to do the same calculation. So moving ahead, if you can see the RStudio on my screen, we do have a lot of objects in the environment which we should clean before starting any of our processes. So this command is rm list is equal to ls. We have a video on that. Please check your card on the top right corner if you haven't watched that video. We discuss why this command is useful and how it helps us clean the objects in the environment. So just hitting Control Enter on that command, you see that the environment is clear with all the objects, and now we can start creating our dummy data frame. To create the dummy data frame, last time we had only 15 students. This time, since we have to count the number of people who passed, failed, and the number of people who get high, medium, and low, let's just create it for 50 students instead, so that we get a bit higher count than before. So I've created a data set called df1 with this command that I have, and if you can, I'll just click on the data set and you can see that I have 50 IDs with random marks assigned in mathematics from 5 to 95 marks. All right, now first we need to classify students into pass and fail. So just by using the if-else command, please refer to the card on the top right to refer to the video where we discuss how if-else command is used in R. It's quite useful, and this video is kind of a follow-up to that video, right? So I'll just click Control Enter, and we have a pass-fail flag created. We can see it in the data set again. If the numbers are greater than 40, they are passed. If the numbers are less than 40, they have failed. Going back to the code, then we will be using the classification of high, medium, low, and I'll run this again. Again, we'll look at the data set. Now we have people who have high marks, low marks, medium marks, and based on the code, we are classifying if they score above 80, they have high maths marks. If they score below, if they score above 50, they are medium, and other than that they are low. So anyone below 50 have low marks, 50 to 80 is medium, and above 80 is high. How we do this? We use a nested if-else statement, which is also discussed in the video on the card on the top right. Now the main purpose of why we classified them into pass, fail versus high, medium, low is that we want to count the number of students who passed versus the number of students who failed, and also for the next flag the number of people who had high marks, medium marks, and low marks. And why just count when we can actually see the percentages of them, right? So this next command, the command for pass the pass count, if you see on line number 15, we just need a command called table. So when we create a table, I'll just run this command, pass count. You see a table is created in the environment, and it just shows you a table of integers is created. And when I just call pass count, I see it just tells me that fail 11, pass 39. And this will always sum up to the number of students in your data set. Now this just tells me that in my column which I created for pass and fail, I had two categories, one called pass, one called fail. 11 people failed, 39 people passed. That is, as per my if-else command, 39 people had marks greater than 40, 11 people had marks less than 40, right? Now, I know out of 50, 39 passed and 11 failed. Now, how to get a percentage out of it? So next one would be pass percentage. So pass percentage is basically dividing the number of people who had a pass count by all of the people, right? How many people passed it out, right? So if I run this command, I get the pass percentage. For that also a table is created, and you can see the output here as well, 20 to 78. 22% of people failed, 78% of people passed. If I click on pass percentage again, we'll get the same output, and it's fairly easy because we had 50 students. If 11 failed, then we just need to scale it up to 100 because percentages are out of 100. So 39 into 2, 78, 11 into 2, 22. It makes sense that the percentages are 22 and 78, as they'll always sum up to 100. Now, similarly, doing this process again for high, medium, low, I think this will solidify our approach and make us remember again, okay, what we did when we counted and what we did when we wanted to calculate the percentages. So going again to the HML count line, this row number 19, we can see Again, while using the table formula, a table is created called HML count, which just tells us 14, 16, 20. Now to view what is high, medium or low, we just write HML count and just hit Control Enter. And on the console on the right hand side, you just see, okay, 14 students had high marks, 16 had low marks, and medium marks were around 20. So as per our if else command, 14 people had scores above 80, 16 had scores below 50, and the remaining 20 had scores between 50 and 80. Now, to convert them into percentage, again, the exact same process that we did for pass percentages. We divide the HML count, that all of the counts that we have, divided by the sum of all of them. So 14 divided by 50, 16 divided by 50, and 20 divided by 50 will give us the percentages. So if I click on HML percentage, another table is created, and I just call that table, and I have the answer. So 28% of my students had high mathematics marks, 32% had low, and 40% had medium marks, right? So this is how you actually just count the categories in a column when you have classified them using a if else statement, and then it just helps you, make a summary of the data set that you have. Okay, I have this many students, this many percentages passed, this many percentage failed, this many percentage had high marks, and this many percentage had low marks. And then you can present this summary overall in a report card or in a deck or in a PowerPoint, however you may please to move ahead. So that's it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.